Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are going through chapter 41, Managing Communication. So we are currently in the last section of the book, which is all about working with clients in real time, the tactical hands-on stuff that we have to do, that we get to do, I should say, as real estate agents day to day, while still being introverts and needing our alone time. How do we manage all of that? So, this is a very important chapter, setting expectations, handling client communication, making sure that we can take care of our people and provide a high level of service without burning ourselves out and without overdoing communication. And this is such a struggle for many agents, not just us introverts. It's more of a struggle for us because every conversation takes a little piece of our energy away from us. Um, but it's hard for everyone. And most people tend to be people pleasers in this business, which is not a bad thing, just something to be aware of. So, how do we take care of our people and do a great job and protect our own boundaries? Communication is a big piece of that. So, let's open up the conversation. Does anyone have any burning thoughts on this topic? Something that has worked well for you, or maybe something you're struggling with regards to communication?
Introverts don't all talk at once.
I was going to say one thing that I did was several years ago. Um, I set up on my voicemail a an expectation that if it was after, I don't even know what it is, 7 o'clock, 6:30, the message was left at that time or on Sunday that they would get a return phone call on the next business day, or they may get a return call on the next business day. So that was helpful. And then the other thing was the phone. I It was like a coaching suggestion to turn off all notifications. No ringing, no dinging, no nothing. And the idea was that you could check it as often as you'd liked, but it wasn't to check you.
Right.
So that it was like you leading rather than the tail wagging the dog kind of thing. And that took a little while, and I was afraid of like missing opportunities, but I think it's paid off over the years. So those are a couple of things.
That's great. Do you still have both of those in place?
Yeah, I think that voicemail is from like 2018 or 2019 or something like that.
That's awesome. Has anyone ever, I can hear everyone watching this recording, they're like, well, that won't work for me because has anyone ever given you pushback on that?
No, as a matter of fact, I totally forgot about it. And I think there was an agent or someone that were like, "Oh, thank you so much for calling me back after 7 o'clock." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I have that on my."
That's great. That's awesome. I want everyone to hear that and really listen because I love it. It's such a good suggestion. That's the ultimate setting expectations. Just telling people when you're going to reach back out. I really like turning the notifications off too. That's huge. One thing that I've been doing lately is I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb from 8 to 8, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So I don't see any notifications. I have a couple exceptions. My parents, my partner, they can get through. But other than that, which is helpful. Sometimes I have had agents text me at like midnight and they're like, don't worry, you don't have to respond to this. Thanks for the permission. I'm not going to.
But it still woke you up anyway. If you even if you didn't, thank goodness you had it on Do Not Disturb.
That's exactly why. Yes.
Yeah, I turned my volume off. So I mean, no, I can't say I turned the volume off. What do I do? It's when you do the drop down and it's that I guess it's Do Not Disturb. It's the round thing, and it just takes the sound off. But if my kids call, they'll ring in his normal tone.
I think you're describing do not disturb.
You're not disturbed. I was thinking it was focus. Okay. All right.
It might be focus.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't
I don't know all
remember.
the terms. Everyone find what works for you, try different things. But the fact that you can set it up and allow certain people through is really helpful. So you're not worrying that you're going to miss something important from kids or family or something. Hi, Mark. Good to see your face.
Thank you. Um, I think it's, as you say, setting expectations from the beginning. And then when you start to respond to things after, say, 8 o'clock, then that's their new expectation, that they see that you will respond. And yes, the other thing is um, try to see what you can do.
Uh-oh, I think you froze a little bit there.
Cliffhanger.
Oh, Mark, you
Yeah, he
froze.
must have. It was something brilliant too. I could
I
hear him.
know, I know. Maybe try turning your camera off and then back on and see if that fixes it. We want to hear what you have to say. Yeah. Well, hopefully he gets unstuck soon. But I did like what he said in the beginning. It is discipline on our end too, because if we take the time to set the expectation and we do that, and that's not an easy thing to do always, but then we're responding anyway, then we ruin it. And what was even the point of setting the expectation? Oh, good, Mark's back. So we didn't hear the rest of what you were going to say because it froze a little bit, but we're dying to hear. So if you want to share again.
I think it just goes back to setting expectations. And for many people that are sending you those messages or calling you, it's what I call the hot potato syndrome. They want to get it out of their hands. They don't care when you respond. They just don't, they just want, they're thinking of it then and they want to get rid of it.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's fine. Like we all do that. It's better to just send the text when you think of it, unless it's at an inappropriate hour. Like I would never be texting somebody at midnight. That's insane.
And I just write the text and schedule it to send the next morning at 8 o'clock.
There you go. Yeah,
So again, they're not expecting to have an exchange back and forth
right,
after hours.
right.
I find it refreshing that when I see somebody who also, like if I go to text message and it says they have notifications silenced, I feel better about it. Like it's like, okay, doesn't matter. I would love to know what mine is saying, but I think it's cool that like other people, like it's more accepted and people understand it. I'll get to it as soon as I can.
Yeah. You should do a test and text somebody in your house and see what it
That
says
would be smart. Okay.
if you're curious.
I was thinking if I, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that. Good idea.
Yeah. I've noticed this a lot too when I'm driving. I don't want to text someone while I'm driving or before, well, obviously for safety, but before I start driving, I try not to send a text then either because then I don't want to start the conversation. That takes some discipline. I forget sometimes, and then I'm like, oh crap, now I'm gonna have to deal with this later or be unsafe. Cool. What else around communication?
Yeah, sometimes we tend to put things off. Sometimes it's a good thing to think things over before you send it. And other times when someone else is, I don't want to say only urgent, but maybe they're upset about something. Sometimes letting them cool down, or sometimes it's the opposite. Better deal with it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. I can think of examples for both, and it's really just understanding the person you're dealing with as much as possible and understanding yourself. Can you feel it in your body if you're getting a little heated and maybe you need to take a beat? I also notice tensions tend to rise throughout the day, and then the next morning, everything is more chill.
That or they stew about it all night and don't sleep.
That too.
I think it's good though, like in the book, it talked about setting the expectations. Like even if I'm going to talk to them at 4 o'clock today, if I schedule it for 4 today, and I'm finding that brings me more peace, and I just read it again and I was like, oh, maybe that's why I started doing that. you know,
I would love to take credit, but
I sure was that. Yeah.
no, a lot of people say that. And I stole that from somebody else too, who taught it to me, and it just made so much sense, if possible, it gives me time to prepare, it gives them time to prepare, and that way we know we're not playing phone tag. I hate playing phone tag. Such a waste of energy.
Exactly.
Love it. What else? Any other thoughts on this topic?
Since I haven't been involved, I don't know what your history of the last few calls have been. Um, and I'm making use of AI before I start responding to something that I don't have to respond to immediately, to think it through, get some different points of view. Um, and then so many other calls that I'm on, they're saying you can use AI as leverage, but don't use it as your communication. In other words, they called it a sandwich. Put the human, then the AI in the middle, and then the human on the other end.
That's a very interesting idea. Can you give me an example of what that functionally would look like?
Um, we have an inspection problem or we have a negotiation point. And so we have the conversation or we have the initial exchange. Then we kind of press pause for a moment, utilize the AI to figure out how to best approach it, and then go back to having the conversation again with the consumer or
So
with
you just
another
go into
agent or
AI and you say, "Hey, I have this situation. What do I do?"
right.
Interesting. How has that worked for you? Does it give
Very well.
pretty good
Yeah.
results?
And sometimes some things I don't think about. Sometimes it's a matter of just phrasing it differently. I use Phil Jones' Exactly Academy, his Ask Pierre tool. Take something maybe that I got in an answer from one of the AI platforms, plug it into Pierre, and it gives me another way to say it that's a little better.
Very cool. That's a new one. I haven't experimented with that or heard much
And,
about it, but it's a
and,
good
and
idea.
there's a 7 day free trial. But what I will suggest is if you're going to take advantage of the free trial for Ask Pierre, that you have it that you sign up for it on it where you've got about a week's worth of time to really get the use out of it. If you're going to be busy with other things or traveling or whatever it is, don't sign up for it and then not make full use of it.
Yeah, that's good advice.
So I'm curious, can I go deeper on that one, Mark?
Certainly.
Are you using a specific bot or just your regular chat when
Uh,
you're initially
yeah, I'm either using ChatGPT or Gemini for the most part. I will begin to explore Claude and Perplexity because I understand each of them has their aspects or nuances that make them more suitable in certain circumstances. Um, I find, yeah, I find deficiencies in a number of them. But I think that all of them are better than perhaps no tool at all.
But are you saying like you're on the phone, you just got they called you, I just got the results of the
Yeah.
um home
So,
inspection.
Arlene, would it be all right if I called you back in about a half an hour? And then you say, okay. And they say, okay. Or no, you got to call me back in 10 minutes or whatever it is. Okay. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Go
And
into chat.
then you're gonna then go to the email, you're gonna do your little system.
If I have something that I can upload into AI, I'll upload it. I know another agent on the East Coast of Florida. She has, I'll call them circumstances that come up while she's driving to an appointment. She'll talk to her AI assistant, explain the problem. The AI assistant will talk back to her, and then they'll role play it.
Right. I actually do that too while driving. I find that structure works nice. And I use it through CarPlay, so it's not as challenging. But
Good.
thank you.
Fascinating. Thank you. Very different perspective.
I would think introverts would be inclined to, or non-extroverts, whichever, would would love having a personal assistant that knows them and knows their history and how they think and et cetera, and can adapt to their individual characteristics.
I'm sure, yes. As long as they're skilled enough to filter back the results, which I'm sure
And they're
a
getting better
lot.
and better all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
It's like those that are not beginning, I don't say you have to be an early adopter, but those that are on the bandwagon now are the ones that are going to succeed, and the ones that are not are going to get washed away.
Gonna be a whole different world.
I wonder if that's going to create more extroverts or what the new terminology is going to be for the people who have used the right brain or they have lost the use of the right brain because they're only thinking with AI and they're only, you know what I mean? Like
Well,
there's,
part of the conversations I'm hearing are so many people are using the same database set, and the answers are getting to become so similar that everyone sounds like everyone else, and the uniqueness in the human side is getting lost as we become more dependent on AI. So
That's the scary
it's
part.
maintaining. That's why we go back to the sandwich theory again, is to use it for knowledge, but not necessarily doing all the communication for you.
right.
People are going to become resistant. That say, I didn't want it. If I wanted AI, I would have dealt with AI. I wouldn't have contacted you.
Yeah, I think people always want a human
Human.
touch, and I am no AI expert, not even close. I really don't even use it, but I will say that my advice is just as much as anyone uses it, make sure it doesn't replace your own thinking brain.
It's like
Exactly.
if you do a Google search now, the first result is AI interpretation of what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
So whether
Pretty
we
crazy.
people think they're not using AI, and if they're using anything like a Google search, they're absolutely using it.
Yeah, it's that first bit is the little AI summary. Sure. All right. What else? Anything else around communication? Um, Next week I am traveling, so we will skip next week and we'll pick back up with chapter 42 in 2 weeks. And that is home inspections and closings. So we'll talk about dealing with those, which can be very
It's where I am today.
people intense at a home inspection or a closing.
A closing that's the other parties aren't on track, so we don't know if it's coming down to the wire tomorrow, whether it's going to close or not.
That's stressful. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
I know you'll navigate it well.
Do
And
my
they
best.
and AI can't help you with that.
It's gotten me this far, but it's like it depends on other people doing their job.
Right.
Exactly.
Lots of moving parts. So
But it's
thank
also
you.
good for, how to communicate with the client and explain to them what their options are and what can be done to resolve it, things of that nature.
I like it as a tool as long as you're doing the sandwich and filtering it through your own brain afterwards, which I'm sure everyone here does.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great conversation today. Thank you all for being here. I will see you in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.